Right, there we go, we are live. I also love how my desktop audio apparently is muted. How do I... It's whatever. It'll become unmuted as we go through the stream. How are we all doing today? How are we? I feel like I'm really dark. Is that... the lighting looks really dark for some reason. No, that's not what I want. I don't want to turn it up. Weird. Weird. Anyway, how are you all doing? That just makes me want to watch Family Guy High X. Oh, look at that sword. I'm just looking at Vindex's sword, and then I see LP's 17-month sword. How are we all doing? How you doing, Vindex? How you doing, High X? How you doing, LP? Sorry for this web UI. I put some more effort into the spreadsheet. How to waste. Yeah, kind of, but then not really. I mean, do we kind of want to use them together, or I suppose there's not really much point, is there? Well, anyway, so I was gonna do some prep work before stream, like as in like within the last couple of hours since I finished work, but then work's been long and I kind of just couldn't be bothered to do any prep work before now, so I literally just made a brand new project. Like, that's why I was running a bit late. I made a brand new project, and yeah, we've got a brand new project, no changes made whatsoever. This is exactly how it opens up when you create it. Well, actually, no, tell a lie. You open up to this screen. I've opened program.cs. But yeah, I figure we'll just dive straight in and start making stuff. So I actually give up 4 runs, no chest plate. Wait, so where are you running? Wait, have you not got that chest plate yet? The one you sent me? I thought you got it already. Yeah, because didn't you send me a screen, like a screen cap of you on the login screen with it? Or was that not right? Did I not see that properly? You really got me curious now. Hang on. Yeah, it looks like you sent me a screenshot of you wearing the chest. Wait, that's not you. I just realised that wasn't you. Don't worry, ignore that. I genuinely didn't pay attention to the character. I just saw the chest, saw the armor, and thought, oh, that looks sick. Fair enough, it's not you. Well, got to get the chest plate then, isn't it? Nope, that was just an image of what it looks like. Yeah, I see. Yeah. I didn't even pay attention to the character. I saw the armor and thought, oh, that looks pretty good. Like, the colour looks quite nice. The armor itself looks pretty decent. Fair enough. Wait, so where does it, it's from Cutter's Cry. Where's that? I don't know where that is. Right, what do we want to pull in on this? I think, well, first things first, we need to start adding NuGet packages, which we've used before. We've used NuGet packages before. I've done something really cool. So these NuGet packages, they're really useful for pulling in like code that others have written, you know, little libraries that other people created, so you don't have to make it yourself, right? Why spend 4 weeks making a database connection system when you can just spend 5 minutes downloading one that's already been made, right? I mean, that's why it exists, for people to share what they worked on. For example, this Newtonsoft, does it say how many it's been downloaded by? It doesn't. But if I do a search for it, this Newtonsoft, Newtonsoft.json, it is the most downloaded, yeah, with 1.91 billion. Having said that, yeah, it's 1.991 billion. Having said that, I think some of the other things down here are getting close. Yeah, like 1.19, 1.13 billion. Yeah. But yeah, that Newtonsoft JSON is the most downloaded NuGet package of all time, and for good reason. It's a really useful package. It's, yeah, packages are good, is what I'm getting at. Now, I've done something really cool. I've got my own repository of code that I have made, and I've got all these NuGet packages that I made. And I mean, no one's downloaded any of them because they're not really they are public, but I'm not like, they're not in the main like library that everyone has access to. You would have to manually add this library to your own like Visual Studio to use it. I mainly did it for me because I find that I end up using the same code over and over and over. So for example, here we go. This sunlibrary.extensions.mysql connection. That NuGet package contains a bunch of extension methods for a SQL connection, like class. For anyone who isn't, well, an extension method, it's basically just a way of creating your own methods to attach to a class that you yourself cannot modify. That you can't modify the class. So I can't modify the MySQL connection class because it's not my class. It is in itself its own NuGet package. Like it's in its own NuGet package. For example, if you look on the right here, in dependencies, I don't know how clear that is. I don't know if I can zoom in on this. No, I can't. Can't make that any bigger. But it depends on MySQL connector, which contains the MySQL connection class. My extension methods just build upon that. Simple as that. But in every single project that I use a SQL connection in, I always have to use these same extension methods. And it just got to the point where I thought, this is just crazy. Like, I'm reusing the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. Like this navigation manager, I think actually, it was the navigation manager, I think, that specifically was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. MySQL connection is a good example of one where I need to use the same code over and over and over, and I think in like 90% of my personal projects, I do use those methods. But it was a navigation manager, which is the straw that broke the camel's back, that actually pushed me into doing this. Because I was making a web-based project, my third web-based project, that I had to use the navigation manager extension methods, and I remember taking the code from one project into the new project that I was working on, and I had to modify it so that it was even more flexible. And it occurred to me, I was like, well, I'm going to be going back to the other project soon, and I don't really want to be transferring this new code back over to it. That's just crazy. So then I thought to do this. Long story short, I've got NuGet packages which just contains a bunch of functionality that I'm going to be grabbing today. Specifically, I'm going to be grabbing this one, sunlibrary.blazor.core. Adds a nice little base page component that we can use, we can hook into. All of our pages will hook into it, which just grants all of our pages access to session storage. Actually, I don't think it does, not with session storage, but it grants our page access to several different, like, internal libraries that they don't normally. I think it's also got a bunch of like page load methods, you know, on refresh, on dispose, just a bunch of extra little hook-ins that we can hook into. Just makes life so much easier. What else will we be using? So that's blazor.core. We won't be using video, we won't be using WASM. I don't think we'll need enum. Probably won't need integer. We will need MySQL connection, but not extensions. I'm actually going to be using sunlibrary.utilities.mysql service. So I've got a bunch of utilities, which are just my own little libraries, I guess. Yeah. So we'll be using this one, MySQL service. Yep. Because we'll be hooking into the SQL server. When it loads. Yeah, so this MySQL service actually makes use of my extensions, MySQL connection extensions library anyway, so that gets bundled in with it. It also includes Dapper. For anyone who isn't aware, Dapper is a nice way of querying databases and CSV files and stuff like that. It's really cool. But yeah, so those are the two I think we're going to grab at the minute. I don't think we need the rest. I mean, assertion could be good, but I'm not too fussed on that one right now. What is it? Oh, I don't remember what random does, what the random extensions has. Oh, no, the random extensions I think is next bool. I think that's next bool, because I don't think that's built in. Maybe. We will also actually, just now that I thought about it, we will be grabbing Navigation Manager, I think. Unless, does this hook into that? No. Let's grab that one. There we go. I think that's all we need for now. The rest, like, we'll come back to if we need it. So, yeah. Right. What's Vindex saying? Did you hear about that streamer who left to become a plumber? No. Still waiting. Still waiting on... Is he still waiting? What? I don't get it. Did you hear about that streamer who left to become a plumber? Everything was cloggers. Amazing. Well done. Right. What else do we want? We probably... There's one more library I think we're going to grab, just because it would be a nice to have. We may not use it right away, or we might. I'm not sure. It is Blazered local storage. I'm just thinking we might use it. Here we go. Add. Okay. Okay. And because I've pulled that in, I need to do builder.services.add Blazered local storage. There we go. I can get rid of the weather forecast. I've named our project Project Ares because Ares is the god of war. Torture, you know, kind of a form of, like, war is a form of torture, I guess. Right, let's get rid of this folder. Yeah. I want to get rid of counter. Just doing a bit of cleaning up. Did that? Yeah, there we go. Delete fetch data. Let's go into here. Let's delete that. We don't need that. What else do I need to pull out? Shared. Let's get rid of the survey prompt. If I go into nav menu, I want to get rid of nav menu. Let's go into layout here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of nav menu. Yeah, imports. Okay, app should be fine. Go into program. We've already removed that. I think we're good. If I've done everything right, we should be able to run this and still have it be all good. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. We're golden. We're all good. Because if not, then we would have had an error. That's good. Right. Let's see. What do we need to do? Well, number one. No, wrong one. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go add new project. And this is going to be a class library. And it'll be project ares.core. Yep. And I'm just actually going to go back into the NuGet packages quickly. Go into installed, and I'm going to remove my SQL service because that's actually going to be going in the core. Come over here, go browse. My SQL service. That gets added to core. Cool. Then we can delete that. Right then, now we just need to start building stuff up. So, let's just think, what do we need? We need, obviously, a way to connect to a SQL server. I'm just wondering if it's worth pulling up my my other web project so I can refer to it. Might do. Might do. First though, let's create a new folder called services. Yeah, we're gonna need, say, we're gonna need like a data loader of some kind to pull from a database. What is this USQL? I've never seen that before. Interesting. Weird. Take a second. So services, we're going to need models. I should probably think about pulling up the SQL server. Oh, it's pulled up over here. Lovely. That one there. What have we got in here? Oh, lovely. I've got a list of all the commands. The cost and cooldowns are all wrong, but I can deal with that. That's fine. Okay. I should probably think about putting some credentials somewhere. Yeah, I don't know if we'll worry about going overboard with the credentials today, because there's like a proper way to do it, which I am doing on another project, and I'll probably refer to that off stream to get that put in. But I think today we'll probably use hard code stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do first things first is zoom in a bit on the code. There we go. Admin password 123. Do you know what? You would be surprised how many companies use those credentials. Genuinely, it is insane. No, I ever since I was victim of fraud, like back in 2020 now, I think it was, all my passwords are just, you would never, like, if you found one, you would be able to get access that one account. I do not use the same password at all for anything now. It's all gobbledygook. Just honestly, like, you know, numbers, letters, symbols, everything. I'm gonna be honest, half of them I'm not really aware of them. But hey, they're vaulted up. Anyway. There was a section of our admin site that was locked by QWERTY as a password. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It happens. It happens. It definitely does. I think another common one is 123, and another common one after that is 1234. A, B, C, D, E, 1234 is another common one. A, B, C, D, 1234, so missing the E is common. Password 123 is a very common one. Password on its own. Typically passed with the capital P, because a lot of systems these days require a capital letter. I think more often than not, if it requires a symbol, then password 123 with a capital P and a $sign at the end is quite common. All very common passwords. It's dangerous, dangerous stuff. Also, I just realised, when I pulled the mic out, I didn't actually position it properly. I kind of just swung it out. Anyway, yeah, so let's have a think. What do we need? We need something to pull the data in. So I'm going to need a SQL service. That will be responsible for SQL transactions, so specifically reading and writing to the SQL server. I'll then have a data store, which will be responsible for storing the data locally, so we don't have to query the SQL server every time, essentially. We'll then have a middle sort of a middleware in between, which will be like a data loader, which will be responsible for setting and getting. Well, no, the data store will be responsible that you can get from the data store, but the data loader will be responsible for getting and setting between the SQL server and the data store. We'll do that. Password, super secure. Do you know what? Actually, it's funny you say that. That password isn't that. I think that would be. Actually, no. I suppose. I don't know. I feel like that's more secure than most of those unsecure ones, because it's got a couple of symbols. It's got a number in there in the middle. I know replacing the O with a 0 is super obvious. The exclamation point at the end. Yeah, I guess. Too simple a substitution. Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. I still think it is more secure though than a lot of the others. Anyway, right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new folder, interfaces. No, it's not easy to put interfaces. Interfaces, and we're gonna do this bit properly. So I'm gonna do a class. I'm gonna make an interface called iSQL service. Oh my god, I absolutely hate how big this code is. Right, so I want to go private read-only. No, not read-only memory, please. Read-only. I know you don't like it. You'll deal with. SQL repository, yeah. Repository. Public. No, actually, what am I doing? This is the interface. Stop it. I'm typing stuff out as if it's not the interface. Sorry, so this will be public. No, I don't need public. I just need. No, I suppose, yeah, you can just public, can't you? What do we want this to return? So we want to return. So get macros would be a good one. We want it to return a IEnumerable of macro, which doesn't exist right now, but we'll sort that out. Public IEnumerable macro get macros. I was going to do two methods actually, but we'll do just the one with a nullable. So int nullable. No, not int. Sorry. String nullable. Player ID. There we go. So if you don't pass in a player ID, you get all macros. If you do pass a player ID in, you get macros for that player. And actually, no, sorry, I just realised because this is a SQL service, we want that on the data store. For the SQL service, we want to return. Well, a macro's fine. What does a macro object look like? Hang on a sec. What does a macro object look like? Macro. So the ID, player ID, streamer ID, name, command, public flag. Do we want to like? Yeah. Yeah, we do kind of need all of that. In that case, then I'm happy for the SQL object and the data object that the website uses to be the same one, so that's fine. So models, add class macro. So this will be public class macro, public. I can't type today. Public int ID get set. I should really think about. There we go. I need to be able to see what they, whether they're nullable. None of them are nullable. Easy peasy. String player ID. Streamer ID. Name. Command. And then bool public flag. Nice, that's our macro object. Import, love it. Right, so that handles macros. I think we'll leave that one there for now, and we're gonna actually create our SQL service so we can actually get a grasp on how it looks. Public. Right here, I want to do a private read only. There we go. SQL repository, and then this will be public SQL service. Right, I do. Doesn't this? Hang on a sec. SQL, not SQL repository. It'll be. Hang on a second. I think I'm going to need to pull up another project. Is it going to load up in this screen or... Yeah, it is. One sec. Let me just... Oh God, if I can just please play ball. No. One sec. How do I do it on this one? Services... Oh, okay. I've done the reverse. Like over here on this project that we're working on, I've got services and then I've got interfaces, and I've got the interfaces inside that interfaces folder. On my other project, I've got a folder called implementation instead. So the interfaces are outside, and each like the actual service is inside a folder. I mean, it doesn't matter how you do it, but what is I pulling? That's right, yes, I created a wrapper, okay. I was trying to remember how I did it, because I'm pretty sure if I go into that, hang on a sec. One second. Repository equals new SQL repository. Yeah, connection string builder. I thought there was a class I could pass in. Yeah, so we've got this connection string builder object. So new connection string builder, where I can pass in a server, a database, a username, and a password, and it'll build a connection string for me. Pretty cool. And then I do also want a new connection settings, and over here this allows me to set a timeout for the SQL server. So what I've done on my other project is I've actually got a configuration file that contains all of these settings, like the server, the database, username, password, and the timeout. And I've got different configuration files depending on different situations. So like when I'm debugging, when I'm like working on the project in Visual Studio, I think that's a 30-minute timeout, I think it is. Whereas when it's live, it's a 30-second timeout. Is it 30 seconds? It might be a minute. But yeah. Okay, so I made a wrapper. Do we want to make a wrapper again? Kind of do. Yeah, I kind of do want to make a wrapper. I'm going to make a wrapper. So, essentially, all the wrapper does is it takes a bunch of data and just wraps it up into something neat. Yeah, like you'll see. Service wrapper. Public. There we go. Oh my god, I cannot spell. Oh, Jesus Christ. Public. There we go. I will learn to spell one day. Right, let me minimize that project. Okay. Right, so what I did was I had I think this is static. Let me just double check that one. No, it wasn't, was it? Yes, it was. Yeah. Yeah, so what I did was public static, and then here I had a return SQL repository, and it would be get SQL repository. And what I did was in here I handed in my configuration file. I'm kind of thinking we might do the same. I was going to hold off on doing it, but it might be worth doing. Let's do it. It's a bit overkill, but why not? Configuration, and then here I'd want to add a class, and it would be Aries configuration. No, please play ball. Public. I mean, I can spell today. I mean, I can't, but you know. And then what I did was I had a public class SQL settings. And then what we do is we do public SQL settings. SQL settings. Simple as that. And then the SQL settings we do public string server. So, this would be database, username, name, there we go, password, and then this was an int, I think, yeah, timeout. Lovely. So here we pass in SQL settings. And then it would just be return new SQL repository, and then we would do settings.server, settings.database, settings.username, settings.password, and then it would be a new connection settings, timeout is equal to settings.timeout. Boom. That's what we would do there. And then all we would do is we would do a service wrapper dot get SQL repository, and we need to hand in SQL settings, but because of the way we build our configuration, we would have it be handed in as a dependency injection. So for example, here I would do builder.services dot add. What is it I do? Hang on a sec. What's weird is I literally worked on I've literally been working on this kind of stuff all day. That's the one, singleton. For some reason I was drawing a blank. Add singleton. There we go. So yeah, we would do add singleton, and here we would do Aries well, I suppose actually we'd create a new configuration, but we would hand it in here. We pass it in, and let's check rid of that. we'll pass it in here. So I'll do like configuration. But I need to build that up here, which we will do. So environment. This helps us determine which which configuration file we pick from. System.configure. Okay. That doesn't exist yet. That's fine. App settings. Get environment to lower prod. So all this is doing is I'm fetching from some application settings that don't yet exist. We will add those in a second, and I'm trying to get the environment variable from it, which again, like I said, it doesn't exist at the minute. But yeah, we convert the environment variable to lower, and we use that as our environment to determine which configuration file we use. If it doesn't exist, like if either the file doesn't exist or the variable doesn't exist within the file, we just default to the production environment. So we'll use like the prod variable, environment. But yeah, like essentially, I'm only going to have like the two. It's going to be dev and prod. But yeah, all I need to do is like basically add a new item. Where is it? Configuration. Yeah, here we go. So there's web config. I just need to make an app config, I believe. Yeah, app config. Add. We get this lovely thing here. Let me just pull up my. And yeah, and here we just do app settings, add key, environment, and then the value will be like dev, for example. There we go. So that's now set up for dev. I mean, we're still getting this error here because I need to pull in the NuGet package. That should be simple enough. Actually, it might even. Sometimes it does like suggest pulling in NuGet packages. Configuration manager. Okay, might have spelled it wrong, but NuGet packages, browse, configuration manager. I mean, it may have even been there and I just didn't spot it quickly, because sometimes it does suggest stuff. Here we go. This is the one. Yep. There we go. That sorted that one out. That gives us the environment. Now I just need to grab the config file based on that. So we would do var configuration is equal to. I'm going to need to make a new class here, but new areas configuration builder dot get configuration assembly dot get executing assembly environment. Okay, let's make a builder for it. Aries configuration builder. Public. Okay. Right. So public. Aries configuration. Get configuration. Assembly. Root assembly for user secrets. String environment. So we'll be making use of user secrets, which I think I may have touched on a little bit when we was working with Streamsmiths. I'm not 100% sure on whether I did or not. But user secrets are something that allows us to essentially modify a configuration without publishing those modifications. It's a bit hard to explain, but basically if I build a configuration file, so for example if I build one now, so if I come over here, let's say I want to make a file. Where's JSON? Here we go. So I'll come over here and I want to do, say, app settings dot dev, right? .json. So we get this settings here. I'm actually just gonna wipe all of that out. And for example, I might in our file here, we've already got the sort of the building blocks for it. We know that we want a section called Sql Settings, and that section then needs to contain these variables here: a server, database, username, password strings, and then an integer timeout. So I would do Sql Settings, and that would be its own object, which within it would have a server, and then that would be a string, and then we basically just repeat this one after the other, and we'd have timeout, and that would be, say, like 300 or something for 10 minutes. So 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes, whatever. Screw it. Let's say 3600 seconds. So this would be replaced with password. This would be username, database. Right. So this is what our app settings would look like. Now, this is within the project itself, and let's say I'm publishing this project up to GitHub publicly, right? Publicly available on GitHub. I might not necessarily want everyone on GitHub to be able to see my my SQL Server connection settings, especially if this project is going to write to the server. It means then everyone has like write access to my SQL Server. They can delete stuff, they can add stuff, whatever they want, you know? It might have sensitive information in it. It might have passwords or something within the SQL Server. And so, because of that, what you can do is you can right-click on your sort of like the project that gets run. So in this case, it's this web project called Project Aries, and you can go to Manage User Secrets, and it is in itself its own JSON file, which you then replicate this. So I would come over here and I'd copy this, I'll paste that in here, and I would then type in the connection details here, right? And the difference is this secrets.json file, the user secrets, doesn't get published when I push up to GitHub, but it gets these details do get used when I run it on this machine, right? So it means that I can leave these blank, publish this up to GitHub, and it's blank for everyone to see. No one can see the details because they're all in my user secrets. And it also means, for example, let's say I want to give LP write access to specific tables in the SQL Server. For example, let's say I want LP to be able to modify just a macro table. Let's say I can then create LP an account, a user profile on the SQL Server that has only write access to the macro table, and let's say I also want them to have read access from the commands table as well. You know. I would give him his own user details. He would go into his user secrets, populate his user secrets with the details I give him, and that way we both got the same app settings.dev.json blank, but we've both got our individual user secrets, which then means we've both got our own unique kind of connection to the SQL Server. So that's why we're using these user secrets that we're referring to. You know, that's why we have to put in this assembly. It's good stuff. Anyway, right, I'm gonna pull up my other project because I am referring to that. Why is this even used anywhere? Sorry, I'm just no. There's a file in my other project that doesn't actually get used. I'm not gonna bother with it. Okay, so var base builder. New configuration builder, yeah. No, that's not right. That's wrong. It's got to be a regular configuration builder. Do I not have... Okay, apparently I need to get that as well. Did I... Yes, I did. Oh, there's a few things I need to grab. Oh, okay. There's a few extensions I need to grab. One sec. NuGet packages. Okay, so we've got configuration. Microsoft extension configurations. Right, I need binder, environment variables, JSON, and user secrets. Binder. Yep. JSON. Yep. Environment variables. Cool. And then user secrets. Love it. And that should then let me continue with what we're doing. Right, dot. Do you know what I need to do? I need to start build. I need to include this in my NuGet package because this is something I'm going to need to reuse several times. Right, set base path. Here we go. Right, path dot get directory name. Root assembly for user secrets location. Dot add a JSON file. Right, configuration dot slash app settings dot environment dot JSON. That's not right. True. True. Right, let's start splitting this up a bit. Add environment variables dot build. Cool, and then I want to do our sub builder, new configuration builder dot set base path dot get directory name root assembly user secrets dot location dot add a JSON file app settings dot JSON. True. Add user secrets. Root assembly for user secrets dot add environment variables dot build. Cool. And then I just need to build a configuration. So var config equals new Aries configuration. That's not right. And then that's right. So Sql Settings is equal to. I'm going to write a bit of code that we don't have yet, but we're going to build it in a second. Get section Sql Settings base builder sub builder Sql Settings, and I'll run through what this is in a second. And actually, that's our entire config at the minute. Right, let me just go ahead and add this get section. Right. I'm gonna do both of these because I might need them in the future. But this is also this get value, which is useful for obtaining a single value and not a whole section. So, but what we mean by section, by the way, is if I open up this app settings.dev, this Sql settings is a section because it itself does have its own individual values within it. So this would be a section, whereas I might have, say, something here which should be something along the lines of, I don't know, server URL. And then this will be like HTTP, www.minecraftserver.com, right? So this would be like, I would use this get value to obtain just this one URL, whereas I need to use get section for Sql settings because it is in itself its own section. Anyway, so get value. I'm going to include both though because yeah, I might end up using get value in the future. We'll figure it out. I configuration root base configuration root I configuration root sub configuration root string key. No. Sub configuration root dot get value t key. Otherwise, base configuration root dot get value t key. Right, why you... No. Private T get section. It's basically the same. There we go. No, why do you keep doing that? Get section key dot get. There we go. Right. There we go. This is our configuration builder setup. So if we now come all the way back out, back to here, we can now add a reference to our we never actually added a reference in our web project to our core project. Interesting. Anyway, there we go. So now we've got our configuration set up, which then means within our SQL service we can now pull in Aries configuration config. Because of dependency injection, it'll automatically give us our config. We don't have to like pass it in. Hang on a second. So if I go back to our SQL service, yeah, so all I need to do is just config.sql settings, bosh. Now we have our repository set up. That's great. I should probably think about adding this here. So builder.services.add singleton iSQL service SQL service. There we go. Why are you moaning? Oh, it's because I'm an idiot and haven't done iSQL service. There we go. I mean, it's expecting that. There we go. But yeah, so now, because like I said, because of the dependency injection, when the web project creates our SQL service, because we've already added our configuration as a singleton, it will pull that into the SQL service through here. So I don't have to like manually add that in. And when we go ahead and create our data store and data loader, we will be pulling in the SQL service and data store into our data loader through the same method. So yeah, we load our SQL service first, then we'll load our data store, then we'll load our data loader, which makes use of SQL service and data store. Anyway, also I have just spotted something that needs to be a nullable. There we go. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this first one here, return repository.query macro, select star from macros, right, macros the table, second, yes it is, order by ID, there we go, and actually that can just be simplified as that, there we go, that right there is all we need now. We are now, well, what I was going to say is all we need to query the macros from the SQL server. We do still need to populate our settings, our config settings with actual legitimate SQL connection data. But yeah, we're basically, that's it. That allows us to grab macros from the SQL server once we've gotten the SQL server connection details. Bosh, simple stuff. Love it. I say simple stuff. It is, kind of. The reason why I had to add the question mark, by the way, is because this query returns a nullable IEnumerable, just because there's the potential that there are no macros, so it will return nothing. Like, essentially, this query may return nothing. It's really as simple as that. You know, if there are no macros, then it won't return a list of macros. And you might think, well, surely it would just return an empty list, which is a fair point. It could. I could have made it do that, but instead it just returned null. Mainly just so you can use that. You know that if it returns null, then there's nothing. Like, it's just as simple as that. There's nothing. It also does cover the case of where the macros table doesn't exist, or if maybe ID doesn't exist, whatever, you know, or if there's even there might be a mapping issue. It might be that the columns, so this select star, that means select all columns from macro. Those columns might not match up with the macro object, right? It might just be as simple as that. It's possible. I did actually have a situation where I thought that would be the case the other day when I was working on my other web project, where I presumed that two data types wouldn't match up. I was all prepared. Like, I'd written up my code and I'd written up my data object, and I'd had a date time. I had a public date. No, what are you doing? Date time. And there's like, session or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a date time, and I was fully prepared for it to fail because the C# date time might not match up with the MySQL timestamp. It turns out it does. It does. It marries up great. It works. It's perfect. So that was a big shocker for me. But yeah, this would have caught that. It would have returned a null instead of a list of, like, an IEnumerable of macro, or in this case the data object it was. Anyway, there's our SQL service. We are going to need plenty more though, so we might as well go ahead and start building some other models and grabbing SQL. Any commands? That's a good shout. Here we go. So add class command. Class command. Right, I'm going to need a public int. Not int, sorry, string command ID. So that's the code. So things like SPZOM01 star, 01, whatever it is, 1 star, SPZOM 1 star. So that's the command ID. Public string type. So that'll be something, that'll be like spawn or tomb, dcircle or dirkle, I think it is officially. Time, enchant, effect. The types, basically, the types. Doc, epouch. Actually, no, epouch isn't actually a type, it's pouch. But then the subtype is epouch, because at some point I probably want to add some torture for bundles. Anyway. Right, public string name. So this is the name of this specific command. So, for example, spawn 1 zombie, spawn 2 zombies, spawn 3 zombies, etc. Public string description. Again, it's just a more detailed version of the name. Spawns in 3 zombies on streamer. Simple as that, right? Then we then need. Are they? What type are they? Oh god, the. Oh, I didn't really want to deal with those. Why did I make them? Hang on a second. Okay, sure. No, that's not going to work. Oh, 1 sec. I need to change the data type. Yeah, I need to change the data type. That's not good. They were so the cost and cooldowns were both shorts. They're what in C# they're called a short, the data type. It's just basically, I think it's a maximum of 65. What was it? 65,000. Yeah. So wait, the range, the integer range of a short is negative 32,768 to positive 32,767. I was using unsigned shorts, which means that it doesn't start from the negative, it actually starts from 0 and goes up to 65,553, 65,535. It's just, I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure why you would use an unsigned integer or an unsigned variable, an unsigned data type, other than just getting that range of the positive, negative, and shifting it over all the way over to the positive, which is what I was using it for. But the problem is 65,535 is not high enough for some of the costs of these things, specifically points. You might notice that you can transfer. Well, actually, no. I say you might notice. I think on Twitch, I've still only got the max being 50k. Well, 40k you spend and you get 50k. The problem is though, the plugin supports up to 1 billion. I think it is 1 billion points. Well, 65,535 is not going to cover 1 billion. Anyway, so I've just modified it to be an int, an integer. I could have had it being a medium int. I don't know what that is in C#, what data type it is. I'm not sure if there is one, to be honest. Because an int is a 32-bit number and a small int is a 16-bit number. I don't think C# has an in between 32 and 16. Oh, wait, no, unless a small int was supposed to be 8. No, I think the small int's 8-bit. I might have been wrong there. I think a short might actually be, what is that, 16 million? Yeah, 16 million in its range. Oh well. It doesn't matter. Anyway, either way, I've changed it to be an int. Let's just get that sorted. It's a public. It has to be a uint because it's an unsigned cost. Like I said before, unsigned just simply means, well, in our case right now, it's just because we want to go from 0 to a higher number than its normal range would allow, basically. Cooldown. That's our command sorted. That's literally it. Command ID, a type, name, description, cost, cooldown. Yeah, because so the SQL server doesn't actually store all of the different like parameters for it. So for example, in the config file on the server, there are, I think, 5 string variables, 5 numerical variables. Having said that, I say that command ID and type take up 2 string variables. So there's 5 string variables including the ID and the type. So then you got like 3 to play with that you can mess around with and do whatever. There's then the 5 numerical variables, not including cost and cooldown. Those are separate, but those aren't actually included. Those 5 numerical variables and the additional 3 string variables, they aren't included on the SQL server. I could, but it's a bit of a waste. Yeah, it's a bit of a waste. It's more data than needed, really, because that information could just be within the description and in the name, like spawn 3 zombies. That right there is one of the string variables, which is zombie, and one of the numerical variables, 3 zombies. Spawn is the type, which I suppose we wouldn't necessarily need to, but I just realised though. We might have to store the subtype, as in the zombie part. I'm not sure. Waiting for you to set off 3 fireworks and what did you redeem? Hang on. Firework, nice one. I didn't realise that was still active. Let me fix that. Why bad? Channel points. What? Oh god, what else is active? Did I leave every? Oh my god, I left like everything active. Jesus. I normally deactivate these things after the stream. Obviously, last time I just kind of. Oh, do you know what? No, I'm blaming you Index for this. Oh no, I don't want to turn point transfers off. I'm blaming you for these still being active because you asked me to jump onto Palace of the Dead. Not that we did, but you asked me to, which is why they're still active. We instead went clubbing. Imagine if I redeemed Creeper and then came out from behind again. Yeah, that would be, yeah. Yeah. We going clubbing this Friday, by the way? Because I think there might be one of the clubs might be coming back. I'm not 100% sure. I got a ping on Discord about it. Because, you know, I signed up for some roles on a bunch of those servers, bunch of those Discord servers. Of course, if it's open, nice one, love it. Yeah, because I can, like, right after stream on Friday, after the torture, I'll, is that gonna work? Yeah, I think that should be fine. I think. I know tomorrow night I've got plans. I'm trying to remember what's going on Friday. I've got the torture stream, I think. And I don't think I've got plans Friday, like Friday night. Yeah, I think we should be fine. We should be fine. Okay, anyway, so that's our command object. Let's actually get a way of grabbing that from the Sql server, actually. Command. Get commands. And then command. So select star from commands. Order by. Right, and now I want to order by type first. And then... oh, how do I order next? Do I want to order it by type first and then ID? Not sure. I need to think about this one. I think we'll do it by type and then command ID. Yeah. Okay, and then we just need to add this into the interface. There we go. That makes it so it can be called from outside, like, you know, from elsewhere. At least I can get glamour now. Yeah, good shout. I need to work on that. Oh, I just realised, yeah. I need to get some glamour. As in, I need to progress so I can get glamour. Anyway, that's our SQL service. We then want a data store. So, interfaces, add class, interface, store, public. Do you know what? I wonder if LP was thinking this would be more UI design than back-end stuff. Well, yeah. What do we want in the data store? So we want a public void add. Yeah, add macros. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Problem is, like, how do I design a front end without being able to populate the data with, you know? Just saying. Macros, IEnumerable. No. IEnumerable. There we go. Macros. Let's get rid of that. There we go. And then I want to do a singular macro, which I'm actually going to pop above, which will just be macro. And then public macro question mark get macro int ID public IEnumerable macro get macros int. No, that's not right. It's params. That's the one. There we go. Yeah, IDs. There we go. And then I also want to do a get macros, which takes in a string player. There we go. Right. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Lisa, how you doing? You do C#? Hey, nice. I feel bad for LP. It's alright, LP. We'll get to front end. Don't worry. We'll get there soon. But that's macros. Let's go about adding in commands as well. So public void add command. There we go. Public void add command. IEnumerable command. Commands. I can't type. What's new? Right, public command, get command, string command, ID, there we go. Hey, thanks for the Prime sub there, I do appreciate that. 5 months, nice. So what kind of what do you work with C#? What do you do with it? So I was looking into a new course, but they wouldn't take me as I already have a PhD. I mean, you don't have a PhD. Do you mean? I know what joke you're trying to make, but you wouldn't happen to mean you've already got a degree, right? Isn't like a PhD that final, like, you know, you've done it for 7 years as the final one? Business software, mostly supply chain management. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. And web stores. Oh, fair enough. Very nice. Public I enumerable. I mean, I'm gonna reuse that. Command. Get commands, plural, and then we want to do another params string command IDs, and then I probably also want to do string type. Ooh, I just realized that's gonna by type. There we go. And then why not, let's make it so you can select by multiple types. So anyone isn't aware, I'm using params here as a way of making it so you can pass in multiple of these things, so multiple integers, just as like additional parameters. So for example, you could do get macro and pass in a singular ID, or you could do get macros and pass in like 4 IDs, all comma, like with commas separating them. Or you can just get it macros by string. So I should probably make this a bit clearer. By player. Yeah. And commands. There we go. By types. Type by types. Okay. Right. I am happy for that to be our data store. Let's go ahead and make an actual service for it. Public. Yeah, so you'll probably see what I'm doing here and think, oh my god, this is terrible. Just add in a bunch of these. I love it. Right, let's just try and get this all formatted in a decent way. Okay, right, so over here we want to do a private read-only dictionary where command is going to have a key of string, commands equals new private read-only dictionary, macros are ints. Love it, there we go. Data store, we don't. No, we don't need to put in anything through dependency injection because it's the data loader that handles that. Yeah. Need to work out a way to level super quick. Level what? Like a, you know, like a melee class. You know, a damage class. As in tank, healer, DPS. If so, then I think on a free trial Palace might be it. Roulettes. Have you done your roulettes? I think I asked you this the other day before you had unlocked them. Dark effort getting doing leveling or Palace of the Dead. Yeah, so roulettes are good. Oh, have you unlocked what are they called? Wondrous Tales yet? If you have, that's really good XP. Wondrous Tales is amazing XP. It's like half a level in one hit. Pretty much, like, I say that. Well, no, I say that. It's half a level in one hit for just submitting it. Doing the Wondrous Tales also gives you a ton of XP. Not a Disciple of the Hand, level 20 yet. Do you need that for Wondrous Tales? I didn't know that. Okay. Well, in terms of getting a Disciple... Oh, no, not really, no. I was going to say, getting a Disciple of the Hand to level 20, you can use the Firmament, but then that in itself also requires level 20, doesn't it? Oh yeah, Lee, you play Final Fantasy, don't you? Tales is just dungeons. Yeah, Tales is just dungeons, but you get a ton of XP for completing it. Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure Vindex has his finger on the pulse enough to get into those dungeons and raids, even the ones that he himself might not necessarily be able to do. Can you do them on the free trial though? Because now I just thought about it, the Wondrous Tales typically tend to have like 70, 80 content and like up to 90. Free trial doesn't have access to that, so would the free trials be able to do Wondrous Tales? Because Vindex is only on the free trial. But only opens after Udilishia, Surrender of Heaven Swords. Yeah, so Vindex has completed the MSQ that you can do on free trial. So he's caught up with that. He's got level 60. I'm just gonna work on adding this stuff. So add command. Macros dot. I think it's like put if not exist or something, or triad will do that. Yeah, triad. So oh, that's macros. My bad. Commands dot triad. Command ID. Command. There we go. Yeah, I can do them. I just need to get Disciple of the Hand to level 20 to talk to the vendor. It should open, but only have 60 content in the book. Oh, that's really cool. If it only has 60 content in the book, that's really good. I'm gonna be honest. I was entirely bummed out when they added Endwalker stuff into it. Really sucks. Right, so this does need to be a. Commands dot. Okay, I wasn't sure I'd do that. Right, command for each. File commanding commands. Add command. Simple as that. Cool. Then it's going to be a similar story here. Can't believe I grinded out full Shire set. It's good stuff at 60. Yeah, I was telling Index he should be going for the Tombstone stuff at 60. Seeing as you can't, on the free trial, you can't go beyond 60, and you can't do MSQ beyond 60, like on Heaven's Ward, I figure the Shire stuff would be the best stuff outside of, like, Alexander Savage and stuff. You know, outside of, like, you know, the Alexander stuff. Vindex, have you dove into the Rage yet? Alex is best, yeah, there you go, I thought so. Have you, like, gone into the Rage at all? I mean, Alexander's great. The music is amazing, by the way. I think I've done all the way up to Alexander 6. Not Savage, just 6. The 6th raid. Solo. I haven't tried it yet. I only done Crystal Tower. Yeah, so that's an Alliance raid with 24... 8, 16, 24. 24 people, yeah. Alex is fun, I have the minion. Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the music from Alexander. But yeah, I would used to do, like, when I did Wondrous Tales before they added the Endwalker stuff in, when I was leveling my Reaper, I would do, if like Alexander 1 to 6 was in the Tales, I'd do that. If any of Bahamut, the Coils, if any of Coils was in there, I'd do that, because I can solo Coils all the way through. But now it's got the bloody 80 to 90 stuff, and it's like, oh Jesus, I can't solo that. Oh, I mean, I don't think I could solo the 70 to 80 stuff, but I'd always be able to skip that. Or whatever it was, that last section, I would always be able to skip it, just because they typically have enough trials in there that I could solo. So, yeah. Anyway, add macro. We want to do the same thing we did for commands, but for macros. Try add macro.id macro for each bar macro. We don't need that whole branch thing. Add macro, love it. Right, and then here we just want to do a simple little, oh, well, there we go. Try get value, that was simple. How do we want to do this? Need doesn't have a Sunny Tales run. You could see about starting one. So the thing is, Vindex is playing on EU at the minute, so yeah. I've also created a new character on EU as well to play with Vindex. So we don't, like, Knights Husseini isn't, well, I mean, I don't know if they're on our server, actually. They might have characters on our server. They may be like an alternate guild on our, like, you know, free company on our server, but I haven't looked into that. Yeah. Having said that, I think they do. I think Knights Husseini do actually have I don't think they do it every week, but every now and then they do it like a Tales run. I think they tend to do it on the Monday. They do like a catch up at the end of the, like, you know, on the Monday before the Tuesday. Obviously, unless there's going to be an update on the Monday, in which case they do it on the Sunday, but you know. But yeah, 134 tarot card. Tarot? Triple Triad. Where did I get tarot from? Jesus, my brain today is just frazzled. Yes, 134 triple triad cards. Nice. You've got far more than I do now. Right. So this is going to be tricky. It's not actually. Outvar macro null. So it really is as simple as that. And then I suppose I just want to do a yield, no, return. Yield return. For each. Yeah, var IDs and ID. Yield return, get macro. There we go. Simple as that. Okay, and this is going to tell me there's a different way of doing it. Yeah. Yeah, I should probably change that. That can be simplified. Okay. Let's just modify this in here. Cool. Okay. Only 188 in trial. You got it. What did you get? What did you get? Got to jump to a client call. Be back in 30ish. No worries, LP. No worries. Right. How do we want to do the player situation? Oh, this is going to be awkward. We want to do doc. Yeah. Values dot where player ID is equal to player. I don't like doing that though. I don't really want to do that either. Oh, why, dude? There we go. Don't really like doing the macros dot values. I'd rather have done it properly. I don't know if there is a way though. Dot. Yeah, that takes in the key. Yeah, every way of getting out. Yeah, from the dictionary, it involves using a key. Oh well. Chest plate. Hey, nice. Very good. You got the chest plate. That's awesome. Right, we want to get the command. Oh, dude, do you mind? Outvar. Outvar command. There we go. Command or null. Love it. And we do command IDs dot select. Get command. Boom. Love it. And then here we're going to need to do the same as we did before. Just macro, not macros. Commands dot values dot where type is equal to type. Love it. And then I think this one's going to be the most awkward one because it involves. 1 second. There we go. Because it involves the params. I suppose we would do. Oh no! Wait. Types dot select many. No, select. So yeah, select get commands by type dot select many. Would that return what we want, or does wait? Would that just no? Because that's going to return an enumerable of enumerable, and then we want to do dot select many, right? What does that give us? No, hang on a sec. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry. That's it. Cool. Then I got a Claymore too. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, there we go. So that allows us to handle that. Love it. That's nice and simple. Simple, he says. Let's get rid of that useless using. Love it. Now let's go about making our data loader. My data loader. Public. Do we want the data loader to actually have anything in it? Sounds a bit silly, but do we want it to be able to pass anything out? Oh, of course. My bad. Of course, the data loader is responsible for loading the data. I need ways of calling that so it loads the data. Yep, my bad. So I need to do a public. Huh. Okay, I've just spotted something weird on my other web project that I didn't realise that I hadn't done yet. I thought I'd done it. Not an issue, it's fine, whatever. Public void load macros. Public void load commands. There we go. Class data loader. Public. No, I can't. Whoa! I cannot type. I mean, that doesn't change ever, but yeah, it's going to want me to pull those in. That's fine. Right. Private read-only iData store. Data store. Private read-only iSQL service. SQL service. Public data loader. iData store. Data store. And then iSQL service. SQL service. So like I mentioned earlier, when we created our data loader, we would be pulling in the data store and SQL service through dependency injection. This is how we're doing it. So iData store is equal to data store, SQL service equal to SQL service. We now have access to both the data store and SQL service from within this data loader. So our load commands is real simple. We are literally just going to do data store.add commands, plural. And what we're going to pass into it is our SQL service.get commands. Simple, literally. I mean, we're just going to assume we're not getting null. We could handle that. Nah. Let's just assume it's not null. And then macros is literally identical. I say that, it's not literally identical. Macros. We did all the hard work in our SQL service and data stores. Literally, that's it. Data load is done. All we need to do is come over here and go builder.services.add singleton iData store. Data store. And then we want to do data loader as well. Data loader. iData loader. There we go. Now, there's one more thing I need to do that's a little bit... there's probably a better way of doing this. I haven't done it, figured it out yet. But all I do is I go var data loader equals app.services, not cert, services dot get service iData loader, and then I do data loader dot load commands, and then we do the same for macros. There you go. That essentially forces them to load. We could be clever about it, and we could instead just simply run them here. Like when we construct our class, our data loader class, because data store and SQL service already exists, we could just in theory do like load commands here and then load macros. Well, I suppose what would be better is if I did like a private void load all, and in here I do load commands, load macros, and then up here we just do like load all. We could have done that, but I would rather we perform the loading and whatnot. I'd rather we read from the SQL server after the web app has been built. After the app has been built, but before it gets run. That's all. So that's why we do it down here separately. I mean, there might be a better way of doing that, maybe. I'm not sure how we would do it though. Yeah, I'm not sure how we would go about doing it off the top of my head, but that should cover us for that. That's fine. Just having a look through the rest of my program CS file here. I don't think we need anything else. The only other thing I'm using is like a controller file, but we aren't going to need that. And that's mainly just to centralize certain pieces of information, but we don't need that here. Cool. Oh. It has just occurred to me, how are we going to verify that the person modifying commands and stuff is that person? I think I might have to look into... This is going to sound really silly. I might have to look into Microsoft authentication. It's just because I mean that might be the only way of verifying like a Minecraft account, or you know, maybe Twitch verification. I'm not sure. Something. I'll have to look into that. For now, we'll make it so that I mean that's so you could like modify like macros and stuff. That could be something we work on later. I think for now though we just want like a macro builder. Like something that shows commands, shows information for the command, and then a builder for the macros where you can just basically drag and drop shit, you know, here, there and abouts, and just it'll automatically give you a command that you can then redeem, like you can, you know, perform in game, which will create your macro for you. Simple as that, man. I think having all of that in mind, we don't need to worry about authentication right now. Anyway, is there anything else I need to pull from the Sql server? Kind of, yeah. No, not really. No, I don't need that actually. I kind of do need that. Yeah, okay. There's one more thing I need to pull in, and that's the streamers. So we're going to make a model. I'm going to call this streamer. Public class streamer. And we just need to do public string player ID. Simple as that. Not really. Okay, it's at this point where we start splitting from classes that we have in C# and the matching data on the Sql server, because I've got two tables I want to pull data from, but I want them to be stored in one model on the in this project. So the two classes are the two data sets that I need to pull from is an active streamers table, which contains streamers, right? And then we've got a table called players that then contains details about those streamers. So, for example, the active streamers table literally only has an ID. I mean, well, there's two fields. One of them's an ID, one of them's whether or not they're active at this current time. So, like, whenever I'm on the server and I'm playing casually and I'm not being tortured, my active flag is set to false, right? It's set to 0. So that's just a table to track that. You know, and for the first 30 minutes of a torture stream where you can't redeem any commands, it's because I'm not active. But yeah, all streamers are in that table, and so that'll be where we can tell who is and isn't a streamer. Problem is, there aren't any details about the streamer other than their ID. We don't have their Minecraft name, their Twitch name, nothing. So I have a separate players table which actually does have a globalized player ID which matches up with the streamers table, and then a Minecraft ID, Twitch ID, Minecraft name, Twitch name. So my streamer C# class needs to have player ID as well as public string Minecraft name. That is not what I wanted. Set. And probably a Twitch name. Why not? I just realised I didn't type name. Minecraft name. I mean, do I need the Minecraft ID? No. No, because the command makes use of the Minecraft name. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't even need Twitch name. That's just going to be there for information purposes, so you can see who they are on Twitch. It'll be like streamer sun_bucks, but the command will be Sunbucks all one word because that's my Minecraft name. But like I said, there is no table in the Sql server that matches this format. So I need to create a separate class, which is going to be public class Sql streamer. And here I just want to grab from this is going to be from the active streamers class, so public Public. Yeah, public string player ID. And then just, you know, because it's there, bool active. We're not actually going to make use of that flag. It's just because it's in the data set. I don't know if it's going to have a hissy fit if I try and pull the data down and there isn't a matching variable. I've never tried that. Right, public class. This is the second table. Sql players. Sql player. Public string player ID. This is our common key. So we'll be able to link streamer and player together through player ID to create our streamer object. Right, public string Minecraft IDs. Minecraft name. Twitch ID. Twitch name. Okay, that's our player class. Cool. I'm actually going to pull these out into their own classes. So add a new folder, SQL, add a new class, SQL streamer. There we go, that's SQL streamer sorted. Now we just need to do SQL player. SQL player, there we go. Streamer can go, that can get sorted. There we go, cool. Player sorted. Boom! Okay, that was SQL player, SQL streamer, and then our actual streamer thingy. So, we now need to go back into our SQL service, and we'll do a public IEnumerable streamer. Get streamers. There we go. Go back to our SQL service. Right. Public IEnumerable streamer. Now, unfortunately, this one isn't as simple as just querying and passing that back. We actually need to do some work here. So var streamers, var SQL streamers is equal to repository.query SQL streamer select star from active streamers. Yep. Order by player ID. There we go. And then we're going to do our SQL players equals repository.query SQL player select star from players. Order by... I mean, we could be really, like, clever with this, where we only select players, we only grab players where they exist in streamers. That might be something we do. Yeah, let's do it. Order by player ID, and I'm just gonna, here we go, we're gonna do a where player ID in that, and then now all I need to do is SQL streamers dot select actually string dot join this actually needs to be a string. That SQL streamers dot select dot player ID. Right, let's break this down a bit. From players where player ID in that order by that. That doesn't need, these don't need interpolation. Break this one down a bit as well. There we go. Right, so where player ID in and then I do just need to stick quote there, quote there. I should probably handle this. So if SQL streamers equals null, return null. Simple as that. That's why we have to do the null check, basically. Okay, so SQL players, and then we want to do the same. If SQL players equals null, then return null. And I'm just gonna move those up a bit. There we go. And then all we need to do is for each var player in SQL players. Can I do a yield return? Yeah, yield return. Okay, that's wise. Okay, that's got to be a yield break then, I guess. Yeah, we can do a real return now, whatever. Allow it says possible null reference return. Yeah, no kidding. Right, fine. We'll return nullable there. I'm gonna need to handle that. That's fine. So yield return. Why are you having a hissy fit? Well, SQL players isn't null because we're yield returning null. If SQL players is null. Are we? Hang on, we're just gonna have this be break, yield break. Yeah. So then we don't have to pass back that. That's cool. I no longer have to handle that. We're all golden. We're good. Minimize that. Minimize that. Right. So yield return player. No, new streamer. Where the player ID is equal to player.player ID. My Twitch name will be equal to player.Twitch name, and Minecraft name is equal to player.Minecraft name. There we go. That sorts that one out. So that's our get streamers sorted. We then need to go into our data store and create a data store for it. So private read-only dictionary string, because it's player ID. Streamer. There we go. Streamers, and we don't need to actually do this whole thing. We'll just do that. Nice. Right. Public void add streamer. Streamer, and of course, because we've done it with all the rest, public void add streamers. IEnumerable streamers. Love it. And then we just need the get for it as well. So public streamer get streamer string player ID. Public IEnumerable streamer. That's stream. No, why can't I type? Streamer. There we go. Get streamers. Params. String player IDs. And then do we want to make it so you can get streamer by the Twitch and Minecraft name? Like you could, like in that would then allow us to essentially like query it. So essentially, you would you could be able to type into a search box "sun" and it would, you know, suggest Sunbucks, I guess. Do you know what? Yes. Not that it's of any use at the moment. Keep in mind, because it is just myself. But I want to future-proof whatever, you know. I want to be variable with this. I want to be what's it called? Agile with this, whatever. Get streamers by Minecraft name. String Minecraft name. And actually, what we might do by name query. Name. Yeah. We'll do that. Because then we can just handle Twitch and Minecraft names, you know, all in the same shot, you know. Now I need to actually add that. So public void add streamer. That's steamer, not streamer. Streamer. Streamers, there we go. Try add streamer dot player ID streamer dot streamer, there we go, simple as that. Public void add streamers. Enumerable streamers for each var streamer in streamers, love it. Add streamer, and then we just need to handle the gets. So public streamer. Okay, fair enough. Sure. Streamers dot try get value player ID, that's the one. Out var streamer, if that is successful. There we go. Love it. Love the auto suggestion. Public enumerable of type streamer question mark get streamers params string player IDs, and then this is just as simple as player IDs dot select get streamer. I cannot type. Why? Did I mistype it here as well? I did. I had a feeling I did. That's that one, and then public enumerable streamer get streamers by name query string name. Right, so how are we doing this one? This one's going to be a little bit different from the rest, kind of. Like, we've already got a by type. It's going to be similar to that, I guess. So I probably could do it in one line. So it would be what? Streamers.values.where Minecraft name.contains Minecraft name.toLower contains no, actually, what am I doing? I'm pretty sure contains you can do an ignore case on. Name ignore case, yeah, there we go. Ordinal ignore case, or x.twitch name.contains name ignore case. Right, now this one I'm going to break up a bit, so contains, or we'll do that, there we go. There we go, that covers all that. Happy days. Now I just need to go into the data loader and add a public void load streamers. Public void load streamers, and because we've done all of the hard work already. Also, why are these not arrow function ones? Data store.add streamers SQL service.get streamers, and of course we're just presuming that we'll call them. Go. Happy days. That's that one. And then in program, I just need to come over here and do data loader _load streamers. So that loads in the streamers. I think, if I'm being honest, I think that's everything we need, isn't it? Commands, macro, streamers. And I mean, I guess in theory, without the authentication side of things, we don't even need to load macros. We'll load them, but we don't need to, because there's like not going to be any way to edit it. The club is open on our server. What, tonight? Which one? Which club? Right now, which one? Anyway, so that's that sorted. We've got the back end pretty much done. It's basically front end stuff now. I mean, and you do need to plumb in configure like SQL Server like details. Mercury Nights. We didn't go to that one yet, have we? Interesting. Yeah, I am. So I'm just thinking, like, all that's left is to plumb in the SQL Server details, which I don't want to do on stream because it's got, like, obviously I've got the password for it. The username, password, the IP, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Host name, database, etc. Don't really want to show that one off on stream. I'll probably do that after stream. And we can't really work on the UI until, you know, until that's sorted. So, what I'm thinking is between now and the next stream that I work on this, I'm going to be plumbing in the SQL details. I'll do that off stream. That'll take 2 seconds. And I think what we'll do is next time we'll do UI because the back end's done, basically. Well, I say basically, it's done. Well, not quite. There's a little bit more we could do actually, a little bit more, and we will do that now actually. So let me just pull that up. Yeah, a little bit more I can do. Here we go, so that we can make use of some of the stuff that we pulled in. Right. So in shared, in shared I want to make a new Aries page base component, I believe. Yeah, page base component. Now this item here is going to extend page base component. This is one of my custom things. It's within Sun Library Blazor core base component, and this is what then, if I open it up, if I gain access to it, inspect it, you can see it by default it gives us access to the JS runtime, the navigation manager. I was thinking of extending it, and I think I will, to include session and local storage, maybe a toast service, so a little toast message, little pop-up. What else? Those 2 things need to be added manually. Yeah, I think I might expand it to include local and session storage, which we need to add into we need to add local storage into here anyway, so that's the thing we need to do, and we will do that now. So inject. So I'm having to do an inject here because we can't do dependency injections through the regular means. Like, we can't do a public Aries page-based component like this and dependency inject that way because of the way that this interacts with the front end. So we need to do an injection like this. So private local storage service, local storage service. That actually needs to be a get set. Not sure why, but sure. Protected local storage service. Local storage. There we go. That's right, that's got to be nullable. Blazor, yeah! Okay. There we go, so that's the local storage service, and then we don't have session storage or toasts on this project, but we do have a data store. No, inject, please. Private data store. I don't know why I didn't just. I don't know why I'm making use of the get sets there, but sure. Maybe it's because they're injected. Never really looked into that. .NET Core version 6. .NET Core 6. Protected data store. Data store. It's literally telling me what to type. Jesus, there we go. There we go. So that's that sorted. Is there anything else I need to hook into? No. So another thing as well, this page-based component does, I mentioned it earlier, we've got our own like on initialized, on page load. I say that, no, actually the uninitialized, that's the native function that gets run. We have an on page load that we can then make use of. So this on page load gets called on initialize. We've then got a on page ready, which is called after the render. We have dispose functions, we've got refresh, we've got subscribe and unsubscribe, so this allows us to hook into events and whatnot. The refresh is good because it basically just refresh. I'm guessing, yeah, so it just basically calls status changed. But if there's anything else that needs to happen before, if there's anything that needs to happen after state change, before the state change, then we've got this additional refresh method that we can basically replace. We can put stuff into it that gets called automatically every refresh before the state change happens. But yeah. C#8 then. Do you know, I'm going to be honest, like, I genuinely never really pay attention to what C# version I'm using. I know it sounds silly, I just don't. Genuinely, maybe? I feel like it's not though. I was going to say, like, I think it was 8 before with .NET Framework like 4.7 and stuff. Maybe even .NET 5, but I never really pay attention to the C# version. Like, it comes up all the time. Like, whenever I'm working on old projects that I've moved on to newer versions of .NET, and I try and make use of features from newer versions of .NET, it always says upgrade to C# version, blah, blah, blah. I just never pay attention to what version it is. Anyway, that's our page-based component. We don't actually need anything else in here. On my other project, I've got a bunch of stuff in here, but literally only because I just need extra stuff. Like, I need to hook into the on-page ready, so that it handles certain things for every single page that this page-based component's on. And I've got like a login and log out function that again needs to be accessible to every single page. So instead of just having it on every single page, it's just in the page-based component. Other than that though, we don't need that here. And to be honest, it's probably going to be like a single page application with this one page. Like, we might not need anything else. We might make some more pages if needs be, but I doubt we're going to need it. Well, we probably will do when we add in like authentication, but that's quite a ways away. Anyway, because we've done because of how we've done this, all I need to do is we come back over to here on page. I just need to do inherits from Aries page-based component, and there we go. And now if I come over here and I do an @code block, so this is how we write C# within our Blazor page. I could do data store. I mean, it's not okay. It's not going to play ball. Public list macros equals data store by oh, it's because I'm being an idiot. That's why. Data store, there we go. Get macros. Sorted. Ooh, wasn't that supposed to be... Didn't we make that null? Hang on a sec. Data store. I thought we took that into account to say, like, that would be nullable. Oh, I should probably also pass in a default, which will be equals null. Is that going to work? No, because I don't think you can do that. Yeah, you can't do that with parameters. Public enumerable macro. Get macros. That's not going to work, surely. No, because it messes with that. Oh, well, I suppose. There's me thinking, how the hell am I going to do this? It's just I leave the parameters blank. Course, data store, and then I just need to add macros. Yeah, no, I thought we'd handled that. For some reason, I didn't. Public IEnumerable of macro. Get macros. And it's just that. It's literally just that. Okay. Oh, it's because those need to be nullables. I'm going to be honest. I think... Oh, and also because that's an IEnumerable, I need to do a .toList. There you go. I mean, we can handle that by just doing a .select. Like that. Why are you complaining? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so as you can see, we can access data store, public, bool, double, whatever, I mean, it doesn't matter. We can also access our local storage, get item async. I mean, just with you typically tend, like, yeah, this isn't going to work here. Yeah, you would probably have to run that with a thingy. So if I do like a public async void get from storage, in here we'd do like an await local storage dot contains key async. So if, and then we would do like player, for example, and then over here we'd have like a public string player ID, which is null. That might be null by default. Maybe not. Player ID is equal to await local storage dot get item async as a string player. There we go. So we could do that, and then we'd hook into, say, protected override on page ready. We would just do this instead. So, yeah, the ordering's a lot dodgy on that. There we go. There we go. Why are you moaning? Oh, yeah. There we go. Why are you still moaning? Because you can't, yeah. Okay, well, we wouldn't worry about that. There we go. That there would make it so that when the page loads, we get a player. It won't work at the minute. Yeah, I thought null was the default. Won't work at the minute just because we haven't... Yeah, it just won't. What I think we could do, public string player name data store dot get streamer player ID. We would need to do a check, so string dot is null or empty player ID. Oh yeah, that gets a streamer. That's my bad. Just thinking, if we do if player ID equals null, it's a string, so I can do if string dot is null or empty player ID. Then we do player ID is equal to, and I'm just going to grab mine. I'm going to be honest. Where am I? That one there. And then await local storage dot set items async player ID. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Cool. And then we want to do a refresh here, refresh. Okay, and then I want to up here do an if player not equal to null. So if we got a player, then we would display certain details. So h1 player dot Minecraft name. The player's Minecraft name is. One sec. I'm just gonna wrap that in brackets so it doesn't play around with stuff. Yeah, Twitch name is. Twitch name. Okay. We just run this. Just should get my details. I think my Minecraft and Twitch name. Oh no, it won't. Of course it won't, because I haven't plumbed in the SQL details. It's gonna have a hissy fit, I think, because it's empty server database using it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's. I should really be checking these things, but it's whatever. I don't, you know. Anyway, yeah. So that would, if I was connecting properly, that would collect my player details. So, like I said, though, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that off stream. Hooray! That was a long, brutal call. We're back. Front end time, kind of, yeah, but not now. We've done a little bit of front end stuff. Kind of, I say a little bit. I've added in my Minecraft and Twitch name. That's it. But we'll be picking this back up again next time. What I'm thinking, because I genuinely don't know what's happening Friday, like Friday evening after stream. I think we might do this on Friday as well, so we'll skip the Torch stream this week, work on this, and it'll be entirely front end because the back end's done. Literally, the back end is basically done. I mean, we haven't got any ways of saving macros, but like I said earlier, we need the authentication in place before we can start like modifying and saving macros on the UI. Because especially the fact that it saves against the player and with the public and private flag, like, who do we save against? We need an authentication system in place. So, skip torture. I have my insta kill macro set up. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. We got next week. I just don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if I need to be finishing stream, like, you know, an hour in, or I don't know, because just this week's a bit of a. It's a bit hairy. There's there's a bit going on this week, personal life wise. Especially tomorrow, but tomorrow's not a stream day, so that's not, you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's all a bit up in the air at the minute. I should be streaming Friday. If anything changes, I'll send a message to Discord. But I should be streaming Friday. And if I am, I don't know how long for. That's why I want to forego the torture, and we'll do this for as long as I can. And if it turns out my plans for Friday are non-existent, then, like, if it turns out I don't need to worry, then we'll work on this, and then after this I'll go clubbing with Index. And for anyone who plays Final Fantasy 14 on the EU server on the EU servers on what data center are we on, Vindex? I forget. Is it Chaos we're on? I think we're on Chaos. If anyone's on Chaos, come clubbing with us. I'm going to be honest, I get the feeling after this stream, I'll be jumping on. Loose Fire Chaos. Yeah, Chaos, okay. I get the feeling me and Vindex might be going to Mercury Nights in a minute. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, I'll work on this on Friday. By that point, we will 100% have SQL Server connection. It'll be pulling data in. We'll be golden. We'll be able to see list of streamers. It's only myself at the minute, but it's whatever. There'll be a list of streamers. It'll be... Why is my brain gone blank? Macros, that's the one. Not that we need to worry about macros, because like we're not going to show them. That literally only exists for when we get authentication in place, so that players can modify macros on the fly on the web UI. And we've also got commands, which we will be using. I might have a character there, definitely on a data center. Yeah, so I mean, if anyone plays Final Fantasy 14 and you have any character on the Chaos data center, you can join us in clubbing. I do get the feeling that me and Vindex might be going to Mercury Nights in a minute though. And then Friday, if I don't have any plans in the after stream, and Vindex is up for it, I'll be going clubbing on Friday with them. Yeah, level 14, level 14 Gladiator. I mean, I'm only like level what 35, not even 32 or something. I literally just made the character so I could play with Vindex, and then yeah, I haven't really done anything on it. I've got myself is it bridesmaid dress, I think, and I just go clubbing in that. Yeah. It's a blue bridesmaid dress. Go clubbing in that. Why not? Oh, so this is going to write to the system. Ooh, I thought it was just being used to generate the code to paste in the game. Yeah, so that's the plan eventually, LP. I need to get an authentication system in place so that you can't modify dynos and dyno can't modify yours. Like, I'm thinking I'd have to hook into either the Minecraft authentication or Microsoft authentication, right? Or maybe even Twitch, either Twitch or Microsoft authentication. That'll be optional though. You won't have to log in to use the website. It'll just be if you want to modify your macros, you just have to authenticate through Minecraft. Simple as that, basically. But yeah, other than that, it will just give you the code. If you want to make a macro and you're not signed in, it will just give you the command to redeem in game, to put in the in-game chat. If something's public, can only the original person modify? Yes, I'm thinking only the owner will be able to modify regardless of the public-private flag. That public-private flag is just whether or not others can use it. That's it. So if you make a public macro, Dino can't edit it. He'll only be able to use it in game. It won't even appear in his list. And what we could do is we could have, I guess in theory, we could have a macro browser so that public macros are browsable and you can see what commands are in them. That could be good. Yeah, we could do that. And then you could copy the command for it. Maybe I'd have a button a button or a text box or something that allows you to copy the command to use the macro, the command to create a macro item from it, etc., etc. I say etc., etc. There's more. That's it. But that could be an option. Anyway, I've been dilly-dallying enough already. I am going to be calling this one here. I think the plan of action for next time is UI. Plan of action for me before the next stream, before Friday, will be to get the SQL Server settings in here in my user secrets and never touch it again because I do not want you guys seeing my SQL Server connection details. Thankfully, I don't have to worry too much about if that leaks because it's not my personal SQL Server. But yeah, that is where I'm going to call it for tonight. I will be live again on Friday working on this UI. Chances are we'll probably have it mostly done Friday. I don't think there's too much to it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Yeah, Vindex, if you're there, we going clubbing? Is that the plan? We going to Mercury Nights? If so, drop me a